Have you ever just been watching the Olympics and your jaw just drops looking at the athletes? I mean, especially their legs. We're not just talking about muscle, we're talking about massive pillars, literally sculpted for one single purpose: peak human performance. Well, today, we're going on a quest. We are diving deep into the science to count down the top 5 Olympic sports that forge the absolute most impressive legs on the entire planet. So, what's the secret sauce here? Is it just about lifting mind-boggling amounts of weight? Is it exploding out of the starting blocks, or is it something else entirely? We are about to find out. We're going to break down the unique demands of each sport and really reveal the specific training secrets that create these anatomical masterpieces. Let's get right into it. Okay, before we kick off the countdown, you're probably wondering, how are we even ranking these? This isn't just a contest for who has the biggest quads. Not at all. We're looking at 3 key things. First, absolute size and volume, the raw, measurable muscle mass. But second, and this is crucial, functional density, how much power is packed into every single inch. And third, the unique sport-specific stress, those one-of-a-kind forces these athletes go through that trigger just insane levels of growth.
All right, let's do this. The countdown begins now. Kicking us off at number 5 is a sport that is built on nothing but pure raw power. That's right, the 100-meter dash, it's pure explosive power. Now, when you look at a sprinter, your eyes probably go straight to their quads or hamstrings. But you know what? That's not the whole story. The real secret to their incredible speed isn't just in their legs, it's the massive engine that powers them, the glutes.
And check this out. This is where the hard data comes in. Research shows that an elite sprinter's gluteus maximus is, on average, a staggering 45% larger than a sub-elite competitor's. In fact, get this, an incredible 44% of the difference in 100-meter sprint times can be explained by the size of this one muscle group. It's not just a muscle, it's literally the primary driver pushing them forward.
And this right here perfectly illustrates why that glute size is so critical. Sprinters are built for maximum efficiency. Think of it like a race car. You want the engine, the heaviest part, as close to the center as possible. So sprinters have these massive glutes and hamstrings. That's the proximal power. But their calves are often just average-sized. Why? Because lighter lower legs mean they can whip them forward faster using less energy, creating that lightning-fast turnover. It's a total masterclass in biomechanics.
So, sprinters set a really high bar with those powerful engines. But what about athletes who have to fight gravity itself? Coming in at number 4. We are trading the track for the frozen slopes with the alpine skiers. These athletes are basically hurtling themselves down a mountain at highway speeds, and their legs have to act as this high-performance suspension system, absorbing just unimaginable forces with every single turn. And the key to their incredible leg development is a specific type of muscle action called the eccentric contraction. This is when a muscle is lengthening while it's still under tension. So think of it as the braking phase of a movement, like when you're slowly lowering a heavy weight. It's the negative part of a lift, and it's what causes that deep muscle soreness. But that damage is actually a massive trigger for your body to say, okay, we need to rebuild this bigger and stronger. And this is where it gets absolutely insane. In a single high-speed turn, a skier's legs get hit with forces up to 1.5 times their absolute maximum strength. They are constantly performing these super maximal eccentric contractions, acting like powerful brakes against gravity and g-force. That relentless stress is exactly what carves out those dense, powerful quads.
Okay, so we've had the explosive power from sprinters and the insane eccentric force from skiers. The top 3 sports, well, they take things to a whole other level. Let's see who's up next.
Coming in at number 3 takes us back to the ice, but this time it's all about speed skating. And their secret is this fascinating paradox. They build some of the biggest legs in the world by, essentially, starving them of oxygen.
It all comes down to that signature posture. That deep, almost 90-degree knee bend that they hold for the entire race. And while it's incredibly aerodynamic, it creates what scientists call a physiological trap, which forces the body to adapt in a really extreme way.
And this breaks down exactly how that trap works. See, that deep stance literally causes the leg muscles to squeeze the blood vessels shut. This creates a state called ischemia. Basically, it restricts oxygen flow and traps all the metabolic waste products, like lactic acid, right there in the muscle. This intense metabolic stress sends a powerful signal to the body that just screams, grow. It's like a natural, super high-intensity version of blood flow restriction training, and the result is enormous muscle volume.
We are down to our final 2.
these next athletes are just in a league of their own. So, taking the silver medal for the most impressive Olympic legs, it's the
weightlifters. Come on, these athletes are the absolute masters of moving massive loads from the ground to overhead in a fraction of a second. Their legs aren't just big for the sake of it, they are functionally dense pillars designed for one thing and one thing only: explosive brute force. Definitely more go than show.
And this table just perfectly illustrates that point. In a study comparing elite athletes, weightlifters actually had slightly less total thigh muscle area than bodybuilders. Yet, they could squat over 40 kilograms. That's almost 90 pounds more. So how is that possible? How are they so much stronger with slightly less muscle? What is going on here?
Well, the answer is a concept called functional density. You see, their training prioritizes the growth of contractile proteins, the actual fibers that produce force, over the fluid that just makes muscles look bigger. They are literally packing more horsepower into every single square inch of muscle. It is the absolute definition of functional strength.
Okay, so we've seen explosive glutes, eccentric shock absorbers, oxygen-starved quads, and functionally dense pillars. But one sport stands above them all. One discipline combines all these unique stresses to create the undisputed champions of leg development. So who is it?
And the undisputed #1 spot for the most impressive legs in the entire Olympic Games goes to
The track cycling sprinter. This right here is the home of the legendary Quadzilla, where the laws of human anatomy just seem to be completely rewritten. These athletes have, without a single doubt, the most massively developed legs in all of sport.
And to put this into perspective for you, just look at the stats for German track cyclist Robert Fürstemann. His thighs measured 74 centimeters, or 29.1 inches in circumference. That is literally larger than the waist of an average adult man. Just take a second to let that sink in. It is almost hard to even comprehend.
So how on earth do they build legs like this? Well, it's a brutal combination of two worlds. In the gym, they are basically elite powerlifters, back squatting 280 kilos, that's over 600 pounds. Then they get on the bike and perform these high-torque, maximum effort sprints. But the real secret, the key difference from every other sport on this list, is the continuous tension. I mean, think about it. When you run, there's a moment your leg is in the air, kind of relaxing. When you lift, there's a top and bottom to the rep. But when you're pedaling a high gear, the muscles are under this immense, non-stop load through the entire circular motion. That creates the absolute perfect storm for hypertrophy.
So, let's just quickly recap our countdown of hypertrophy secrets. At number 5, we had the sprinters with their glute-focused proximal power. Number 4, the alpine skiers, who've mastered eccentric overload. Number 3, speed skaters, using ischemic stress for growth. Number 2, the weightlifters, the absolute kings of functional density. And our champion, the track cyclists, who build legs of mythical proportions through continuous tension.
You know, each of these sports holds a unique key to unlocking muscle growth, from focusing on glute power to embracing those eccentric negatives or even using metabolic stress. So the final question is really for you. Let me know down in the comments which one of these principles you're going to try to steal for your next leg day. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of peak performance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.